And we're diving right in, starting off by looking for a mini boss. It tells you at the top of your screen when one has spawned in. I would definitely recommend some kind of dino finder. It helps the search. For this one, the very first one, you need to find a Uteranus and kill it. It has a chance to spawn in a mini boss after you have killed it. So right down here, there's a mini boss. We're going to start off with this guy. You have to kill him in order to obtain this item that he drops. I think it's a horn for this first one. You need the items in order to summon the normal boss at the altar. So you're going to be killing quite a few of these things. Right after you kill your first mini boss, the grind doesn't stop. As you can see, I'm on to the next normal Uteranus, trying to spawn in yet another mini boss because you got to kill a lot of these. You have to kill a lot of mini bosses. I don't know how many exactly, but it's a bunch. Every time you kill a boss, they drop a crap load of saddles. The mini bosses, the main bosses, they all drop these saddle blueprints. And I just toss them because the base ones are fine. The Ascended ones cost too much, a whole lot of resources. And unless you really, really have an absurd amount of time on your hands, the base saddle is fine. On your screen now is the list of mini bosses along with the corresponding dinos needed to kill, or that you need to kill in order to have a chance at spawning in one of these mini bosses. Feel free to pause it, take a screenshot, whatever you need to do. This is just a more in-depth like visual to show you guys how many resources these saddles cost once you get to like Mastercraft and Ascended level. I don't know about your playthrough, but on my playthrough, I don't want to sit up here and farm tens of thousands of hide per saddle. So the basic saddles will work just fine. And you don't have to kill the bosses in order to unlock the blueprints. The blueprints are actually unlocked from killing that type of dino. So if you want like a Tongs Rex or something or a Spino, you have to kill that type of Rex or Spino in order to unlock the blueprint. And then you just craft the basic one. Should be enough. It's way easier to equip your army with basic saddles as opposed to trying to do a bunch of Ascended saddles. It's going to take entirely too long farming all those resources. Now on to summoning the boss in. Once you have all the required resources, you go ahead and you throw it into the altar. Then you just select the boss you want to fight and proceed to fight it. Now, at the start, I have two Rexes. They're maxed out. They don't have the best saddles on. As far as points go, I normally put like 30 to 35 points in the melee. The rest I just straight up put in the health. I mean, these guys are just meant for fighting. And at some point in time, a wild one comes up. So just out of curiosity, I end up taming it to see how it would fare in the fight too. The only thing I do with the wild one is take the time to level it up. But I leave it in the fight with no saddle just to show what can be done. Now keep in mind the way that I have this set up, the dinos max in the wild can be 300. So it might be a little different if you're on basic settings. And you might have to use probably 2 to 3 times the amount of Rexes for these fights. The biggest problem isn't even the boss, in my opinion. It's the fact that they put this debuff on you that causes all the wild dinos to come in and attack you. And as you can see, the boss fight goes pretty quickly. One thing to keep an eye out for, make sure that if you're doing this like consecutively, you want to check your inventory and make sure that those blueprints from the saddles don't go directly into your inventory. Typically, from what I see, they go in the inventory of the dino who does the final blow. But if they go into your inventory, they will black box you and you won't get the essence. So that is something to really keep in mind. You just have to do inventory management in between the boss fights. You can't just summon one after another. Otherwise, you're going to get black box and you're going to look up and you don't have the essence. So definitely pay attention to your inventory and your dino's inventory if you're planning on fighting these bosses back to back. As you can see in this dino, his inventory's full. Luckily, we still got the essence. But if he fights another boss and he's black boxed, you're not going to get the essence. It's not going to get the essence. So keep that in mind. And another thing to keep in mind is when you're fighting the scorpion boss, that thing does some serious torpor. And he will knock out a few of your dinos. I think he knocked out 2 of the 3 of my Rexes. So that's also something to keep in mind. With the scorpion boss, your dinos can get knocked out. Now that you're back at base with your 2 sleepy boys, you can proceed to upgrade your workbench. I don't know of any mod that wakes these dinos up, but it seems like they wake up on their own pretty quickly. Anyhow, they'll be fine. They're just napping. So you come over here to the workbench and you want to insert all of the boss essence that you just got. Take out everything that you have already inside the workbench. If you forget to take it out, once you upgrade the workbench, the items will be in a bag on the floor. So that's good. You don't lose them, but still, just take them out. And this process is basically rinse and repeat from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3 and 4. I believe 4 is the last upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. And you have to do the same thing with the altar as well. So you got to kill 4 bosses, get their essence, put it in the workbench, then kill 4 more of the same bosses, get their essence, and put it in the altar in order to upgrade the altar as well. Okay, this is out of order. I should have started with this earlier on, but in order to get the hearts, I breed the dinos just to sacrifice them because you have to kill one of your tame dinos in order to get the heart from said dino. So I use Cyberstructure's propagator. You could use everything in there to do the whole process, but I use CS propagator along with SCS terminal. And I use the terminal in order to incubate and, well, not hatch, but incubate the eggs down to 1%. This is just the way I do it. So once the eggs are down to 1%, take them to your AC setup, drop them, hatch them. Should be pretty self-explanatory. Hopefully you at least know how to do the breeding process. But the propagator makes it go faster. You can breed to sacrifice and you can breed your army with mutations to fight the bosses. I normally don't do too many mutations. You can if you're like, I don't know, you just want to, but I don't. Um, so next you wait till they grow up. Once they're adults, toss them back out. You don't have to put any saddles on them, no points into them, nothing like that. You just toss them out and then use the corresponding knife. Make sure it's equipped. It'll give you an option on the scroll wheel to get the heart. then boom. So you go through and you have to sacrifice however many dinos for however many hearts you need. I believe it's 5 hearts per boss. 4 bosses, 20. You probably need like roughly 40 hearts because you got to kill all the bosses twice. Yeah, if my math is wrong, it's because I forgot something or I'm bad at math. But either way, you're going to need to do a lot of breeding. The other option is to go out in the wild because this just has to be a tame dino. You could do this with dodos, dilos, the turtles. You could do it out there in the wild and just tame them up and immediately sacrifice them. I just do the breeding process because it's more streamlined for me. Whatever works best for you. So, to go over a few last minute things that I might have forgot to go over. For starters, storage. I used this Griffin. You could use a RG or whatever. I just get something, pump some stats into its weight, and I put most, if not all, of the modded items within that dino. For this one, he has everything except for the hides within his inventory. It just makes it easier for me to keep track of things without having a bunch of storage boxes or cabinets and without using too much of the CS dedicated storage. This is just way easier because if I'm looking for something, I go check on this one dino and see if he has it. That way I know what I need to go out and farm. I only leave the hides here because it's just simpler when I'm crafting something like the saddles to have them in the tech storage. Some stuff requires certain metal ingots. Some stuff requires I'm having a brain fart. Uh essence. Yeah, essence is the thing that I seem to run low on more than anything else. Souls, you get a decent number. Hide, you get a decent number as long as you're not trying to overcraft like Ascended. Um, Aside from that, berries. The berries in this game, they're they're gonna cause you to need a lot of farming real estate. Way too much, in my opinion. So every time you beat a boss, it unlocks the engrams to the seeds. I don't think it unlocks the engrams to the berries themselves, but it does to the seeds. The seeds can be crafted inside the workbench, as you can see here, and it's pretty resource intensive. At some point, when you unlock the berries, it'll pop up on your person. You craft the berries on your person, like I'm showing right now. But all this stuff takes a lot. A lot. Because you need items from the tier down in order to craft whatever tier you're currently on. And it's just too many resources for me. Too much farming. But the seeds is what I would normally craft as opposed to trying to craft the berries themselves. That way you can farm them. And I normally do 4 to 5 crops like per seed. So with that in mind, that's a massive farm. That's way too big of a farm. If it was just the base vegetables, it'd be fine, but it's everything. You need a modded version of everything, especially if you're trying to do the potions too. Now, if you get to one specific potion, it's not as bad. But trying to craft as you're playing along, resource intense. This is a grindy mod. So far, the mods I've played, it's been the most grindy mod I've ever played. Even from the content creator standpoint, where I just admin in some of this stuff, full transparency, there's certain things that you can't admin in, and there's certain things that you still have to do the playthrough in order to obtain. And it's so time consuming. But if you like grindy mods, then this one is probably for you. The last thing I want to go over before I forget is the pets. So it shows you in there once you unlock the engram, you get the pet, Then you equip the pet to your shirt. It says that it can only be equipped to that said shirt, not the armor set. I haven't tested it, so I don't know if you need the actual armor set. Or if I know you need the shirt, I don't know if it'll equip to the armor itself. So if it doesn't, that's why. Like if you have flak armor and it's not equipping, you need the set shirt. It's a lot of information. I'm trying to remember it all. But once you equip it to your shirt, you go out and you kill 100 dinos of that specific tier, along with having the resources that it tells you to have. Then you can evolve the pet. Now, I didn't go through and evolve every pet, so I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I just know the purpose of the pet is to keep that tier of dinos from aggroing to you. Yeah, it's a lot. So right now it's too grindy and I can't farm all these bosses. I can, but I'm not going to farm all these bosses in order to upgrade this to the next tier. But in this video, I gave you the basics of how to go from tier to tier because it's rinse and repeat. I think it's a repetition for me. The repetition is just too much. But for anybody trying this mod, hopefully this guide will help you to understand the basics because it really is rinse and repeat. I love that part about it. I like that you can take like a low tier dino, just make an army and use that to get you, I would say, up 2 tiers. Don't quote me because everybody's settings is different, but the way my settings are, I could use these 2 Rexes or 3 Rexes and keep progressing. If I need to breed more, then I'm confident that this tier of Rex can go up at least 2 tiers. So hopefully you found something helpful in this video. Hopefully I didn't miss anything in the early games as far as steps go. This is just a list of things that I think will help you guys along in this mod, Ark Ozone Ascended. So until next time, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.